The African savanna. Noon. An antelope stands in the dry grass, nature's perfect creation, speed up to 80 kilometers per hour, muscles coiled like springs. It is capable of leaving behind any lion, any cheetah, any leopard. Africa's apex predators are sprinters. They need one explosive burst, one single moment. If that moment is missed, the hunt is over. The antelope knows this. Evolution has hardwired this knowledge into its instincts over millions of years, and suddenly, a silhouette appears on the horizon. A two-legged creature, slow, almost clumsy, no claws, no fangs, no armor. The antelope bolts. Within seconds it vanishes behind a hill. It runs for a couple of kilometers. It stops in the shade of an acacia tree. 20 minutes pass. From behind that very same hill, the same figure appears again. He isn't running. He is simply walking. An hour, 2, 3. The sun climbs to its zenith. The ground is scorched to 40 degrees. Time and again, the antelope bolts. Time and again, it leaves the pursuer far behind. And yet again, he appears on the horizon, step by step, without stopping, without emotion. This is not just a hunt. This is the oldest, most inescapable nightmare of the wild, the one you cannot run away from. It is being hunted by Homo sapiens. From a purely biological standpoint, human beings are an absolute mistake of evolution. Average running speed, 15, maybe 20 kilometers per hour. And even then, only in short bursts. Any chimpanzee of the same weight is 3 to 4 times stronger than a human. Our skin is thin, easily torn. Natural weapons, none. Night vision, virtually non-existent. In a direct clash with the massive beasts of the ancient world, a human stood absolutely no chance. The planet was populated by perfect killing machines, and yet it was our ancestors who wiped these giants off the face of the earth, took the absolute top of the food chain, spread across every single continent. Evolution played a very strange game with this planet. It stripped humans of every visible weapon. But in return, it gave us something no other creature on Earth received: the anatomy of a perfect marathon runner. When human ancestors came down from the trees and stood on 2 legs, everything changed. The foot gained a unique arch, a biological spring that absorbs shock and returns energy with every single step. The gluteal muscles, the most developed among all primates, keep the torso upright during a run. The Achilles tendon acts as a living shock absorber. But the most critical change didn't happen to the bones. It happened to the skin. Humans lost their fur. Most mammals on Earth are sprinters. They are born for short, explosive attacks. But every single one of them has one fatal limitation: thermoregulation. A dog, a cheetah, an antelope, they all cool their bodies in only one way: through breathing. They stick out their tongues and pant heavily, expelling heat through their lungs. Now imagine having to run in a thick fur coat under a 40-degree sun, breathing only through your mouth. Within just 10 to 15 minutes of intense running, an animal's body accumulates a critical volume of heat. Internal organs begin to overheat. If the beast does not stop, its brain will literally cook itself. An animal physically cannot run for long. A human body features between 2 and 5 million eccrine sweat glands. There is no fur to trap hot air against the skin. Moisture is released across the entire surface of the body. The oncoming wind evaporates the sweat, and the blood in the capillaries cools right on the move. A human does not stop to cool down. He cools down while moving. And there is another advantage. A bipedal creature at noon exposes only the crown of its head and shoulders to the sun. The surface area hit by solar rays is minimal. A 4-legged animal exposes the entire length of its back to that very same sun. Man is a walking radiator. While the animal chokes on its own internal heat, the hunter continues to breathe smoothly and deeply. Scientists call this tactic persistence hunting. This kind of hunt was never fast. It was a psychological and physical duel lasting anywhere from 3 to 5 hours, and it unfolded during the most brutal time of day, at high noon, when normal predators lay resting in deep shade and the scorched air vibrated over the earth. The hunters would select a single target, usually a large male with heavy horns. They would startle it, force it to break into a gallop. the animal would fly forward, instantly vanishing from sight. The hunters did not panic, because they possessed another tool: intelligence. Man is the only creature on the planet capable of reading tracks and thinking about the future. A broken twig, trampled grass, a handful of shifted stones, the depth of a hoof print. The hunters didn't just follow the trail. They calculated exactly where the panicked beast would run. Whenever the antelope stopped in the shade to catch its breath, the humans would appear again. They deliberately denied it any rest, round after round, kilometer after kilometer. After about 4 hours, an irreversible thermal failure occurred within the animal's body. Its temperature spiked to a critical 42 degrees. The blood thickened, muscles jammed with toxins. Thermal necrosis began in the brain cells. The hunter no longer needed to fight. No need to risk his life in a dangerous battle with a furious horned beast. The animal simply stumbled and crashed heavily into the dust. The hunter approached slowly, looked into the fading eyes, and delivered one final, precise strike. The fastest prey of the savanna was killed by ordinary walking. When Homo sapiens arrived in Europe, Neanderthals had already been living there for hundreds of thousands of years. They were built for the cold, heavy-boned, incredible muscle mass, successful ambush hunters capable of bringing down giant mammoths. The ultimate sprinter, a heavyweight of close-quarters combat. But that massive body required an immense amount of calories. The climate began to change. Dense forests retreated, giving way to open, endless steppes. In the open steppe, ambushes do not work. There you need to walk far, long, and monotonically. And this is where the Neanderthal strategy suffered a fatal glitch. Lean, resilient Homo sapiens covered dozens of kilometers a day. They tracked migrating herds. They spent minimal energy on every single step. The Neanderthals couldn't keep up. Their food vanished before they could ever catch it. We didn't defeat them in an open war. We simply took all their food because we could walk longer. Today, this feels distant. People buy sneakers and run marathons for a medal and a nice route map on social media. They view themselves as completely severed from wild nature. But inside every single cell of the human body, that ancient, ruthless code is still written. The Terminator code. Homo sapiens survived not because he was the strongest, not because he was the fastest. He survived because in all the vast universe of living nature, he knew how to endure and keep moving forward longer than anyone else. Fatigue and boredom are inventions of civilization, but inside every human being that primitive hunter still lives, the one who monotonically walked through the scorching desert, through the storm, through the pain, step by step, without stopping, without emotion, until his target dropped at his feet.